Hello everyone at QuakeCon 2026. My name is Zelo or Zello, however you want to say it, never matters. Just know that there's three L's and three O's. I will be one of your speedrun reps for today. I am going to be playing the original Doom from 1993. I am also joined by Meta on the couch right over here if you want to quickly introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello everybody. Happy to be here celebrating, QuakeCon's 30th anniversary live on stage. This is our 5th MDSR event, our 3rd one here at QuakeCon. So happy to be here. My name is Meta, like you said, and yeah, I'm not a classic Doom speedrunner. I speedrun 2016, Eternal, and a bit of Dark Ages. So yeah, this is going to be pretty much a brand new experience for me here as well, and I'm so excited to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason Meta is here is because he put me through a speedrun challenge hell last year, so this is lovingly revenge for that. So I'll be covering most of the commentary, and he can just chime in whenever he wants.
Legacy of Rust, dude. That's
I know, it's tough. It's a fun expansion, but it's tough.
Brutal.
Don't let this screen fool you. We'll get to that in a bit. So the category that I'm going to play for you is UV Speed. We're going to play all 4 episodes, the 3 base game episodes plus the 4th expansion episode. We'll just go through all of those on Ultra Violence difficulty, which is the hardest normal difficulty. Nightmare gets its own special category. Ultra Violence is just kind of the most commonly used one in the running community. And Speed is just the any%, so we're just going to go through, no restrictions. Just going to play through all 32 main levels. So I think we're about ready to go in 3, 2, 1, Doom.
All right, good luck.
So I'm going to take a little bit to explain the main movement mechanics. So Doom, as well as many other first-person shooters, have the interesting mechanic of like vector addition, where if you strafe run when you're going forward or backwards and side to side at the same time, you move 28% faster. We call that SR40. So you're going to see me strafe running a lot of the time. There's also something that we have called SR50, where in addition to strafe running, I hold a turn key and the strafe button at the same time. And this actually increases my speed to 41% over normal running, but I cannot turn while that's happening. So I use that for mainly specific tricks or any time that I am in a long straightaway and take advantage of the extra speed. This is actually a little bit of a scary run to do because episode 1 is ironically the most dangerous of the original 3 episodes to run. The next level coming up, Toxin Refinery, I'm going to focus mostly on dealing with shotgunners because shotgunners do a lot of damage in this game. They can do up to 45 damage with a single blast. So I'm going to slow down just enough to prioritize targeting them and getting them out of the way. But otherwise, we're just going to just kind of move as fast as possible because hit scanners are really deadly. Hit scanners, they just fire their bullets or shells. There's no dodging like there would be a projectile, so it's either you're behind cover or you possibly get hit. So thankfully, this has gone really well so far. This is a lot better than average. It's very, very common to die in this level or just lose a whole bunch of time from random movement. So just have to not.
I love how, I'm noticing whenever you're opening a door, you back up and then you accelerate back into it through the doorway.
Yeah, so
it's just like tiny little optimization, right?
Momentum preservation is really big in this game. So we're actually going to do our first sequence break right here. So this is a pretty common one. Normally you have to get both the blue key and the yellow key to finish, but we're going to skip the maze by doing this very specific SR50 jump right here. If we manage to do this just right, we can get onto this ledge, and that skips us right to the yellow key and gets us right to the end. Now I'm hoping I don't get trolled right here. I did get trolled. That door is a little funny because due to a level design quirk, that door is tagged the same as a lift, and if that lift is somewhere in the level actually being used, I can't open the door.
We have a saying in the modern Doom games. It's, when something happens like that, it's cuz Doom. We don't need any other reason.
Cuz Doom.
Cuz Doom.
Anyways, this is, like I said, episode 1 is the hardest level. We're going to jump, or the hardest episode. We're going to jump in here and get a rocket launcher, get some extra stuff. This is the hardest level in the WAD aside from one level in episode 4. This is just extremely brutal. So I'm actually going to play pacifist here for a second once I reach a certain point, because there are line deaths, which are triggers that you can walk over or such and open doors or open other things. We played pacifist for a second so the enemies that in those monster closets that were open wouldn't start swarming the hallway so we could just run past them. So there's a lot of optimizations like those too. It's not just always run and gun. You have to kind of be selective with how you manage things, especially since Doom is a very random game. Enemies move randomly, damage is random, the spread of the shotgun is random, etc. We're just going to get into this last area right here, hopefully get through the darkness okay. I'm going to cut through the middle. And there are some pinkies in the last room coming up, so I have the rocket launcher on standby for this. Fire a couple in there. Nice. All right, so we got another trick coming up right here. So normally this door locks us in place for about 30 seconds, but I'm just going to have the shotgunner just kind of just kind of bonk his head on the door as it's closing, and the door is very polite. It's like, oops, I'll let you go. So the door just opens instantly, and that means I'm not trapped in there for 30 seconds.
That's a 30-second time save?
It's a 30-second time save.
That is huge in this, like, you know, like one episode is like just a few minutes, right?
Yeah, about like a good episode 1 is about 5.5 to 6 minutes.
30 seconds off that is massive. Wow.
Yeah, that's a trick that's been known around for a long time. Like, Doom speedrunning extends all the way to the game's release 30 plus years ago. So there's a lot of stuff that's been in since then, and there's also a lot of new stuff. I've tried to slip past these imps, but they are not giving me a good time, so we're just going to have to just get rid of them. It's a little tricky to do that. So there's actually 2 routes we can take in this level. I'm taking this route to where I take a secret area with a bunch of rockets and some extra supplies. This is just really good for a full game run. There's actually another alternate route where if I were to do a specific trick in the final level of this episode, we would actually be able to skip that. That might actually be permanently closed. Hold on. I think I'm soft blocking
Oh
there.
no.
That's okay. I did quick save, so we'll get another chance at the imp area. That's never happened before where I've gotten stuck on the outside of that.
All right, we got the that's never happened before out of the way. We're good for the rest of the day.
I hope so. I have run Doom 1 for several years, and I have also run Doom 64, which is my main, for many, many years. And even in that game, I see lots of that's never happened before in live events. So hopefully that won't happen again. So we'll get in that chamber as soon as possible and hopefully not get blocked by enemies. All right, so there's a big flood of enemies that come in once I hit a certain line depth by the switch. So we're just going to get the rocket launcher prep. Going to hopefully get ahead of everything, and then rocket our way into the exit room. There's a whole bunch of specters in the way, so glad that went okay.
Well done.
All right, and the last hard level of episode 1 right here, like Computer Station has a lot of back and forth here. Very, very combat focused. I did pick up a chain gun in the last level, so we're going to be kind of alternating between using that and the shotgun. Because the shotgun's good for like single target stuff, but the chain gun's good for just kind of just dealing with the crowds as we go, especially for the zombie men. The zombie men only have 20 HP, so they're pretty weak and easy to just kind of cut through. I still also have a bunch of rockets that we got from the last level, so we're going to use those to kind of soften things up here while we're waiting for the elevator. There's a lot of good multitasking you can do whenever you're just waiting for an elevator or such to come down. So now we have to get all the way back to the other area, and hopefully nothing's going to block us too badly here.
Or the routing, like how much do you have to worry about ammo management? Like you just mentioned with the rockets, like is that a big thing on your mind throughout the entire run?
I have the rockets very properly routed out for the first 3 episodes to where I have no wiggle room, so I just have those very set. So once I get this key, I'm going to play Pacifist again because another monster closet opens up ahead. I do not want them to start moving until I'm past this door, but now I can just quickly slip by the other stuff. Now I am pretty low on health and armor compared to where I normally would want to be, so hopefully we're not going to have a bad accident over here because there's just a whole lot of enemies just coming up my path. And movement in Doom is very tricky to control, especially if you're like kind of bouncing off of enemies. You kind of bounce off them at weird angles. That was very close.
Do you ever mix, like I don't even know if this is possible, but do you ever mix SR50 into just like general movement as well, or is it more like tricks?
I tried to, like right here in this little hallway. We're also going to do a wall run. Well, I tried to do a wall run, but we've got the 2 Barons of Hell right here, so once we kill them, we can get to the end of the level. And there's one trick that is a little bit involved. This is a little close for comfort. let's do that. So there's one trick. I'm going to try and make it off of this platform by using the ledge here as a boost. And we got it first try. Nice. So that skips the scares of shame, and we just managed to just blow ourselves up and end episode 1. So there's a special sector at the very end of that room where once you get to 10% health or less, the level completes automatically. So we use a rocket to blow ourselves in the face. So into episode 2. So interestingly, almost everything in episode 1 was done by John Romero, and every one level in episode 1 as well as everything in episodes 2 and 3 are made by Sandy Peterson. So you're going to see a lot of like different level design in terms of like the gimmicks, the spacing, and I think that makes this a really, really unique run where you kind of get like the combat-oriented episode 1, and then you kind of have more tricks and movement in episodes 2 and 3 before we go back to episode 4 and get wrecked. Also, say hi to the Cacodemons, our favorite unofficial mascot.
Can you pet the Caco?
If you
No?
have a Podesta plush, my loving wife on the couch over there, or the back seats, is holding one right now. So big shout outs to my wife, Haru, for being here. So we have another trick in this level. We're going to go out of our way to get some plasma first. The plasma gun is really good in Doom 1. But after that, using the SR50 speed, we're actually just going to skip the entire map, hopefully, by making this jump right here. Nice. Got that first try. So you just skip the entire level, skip getting 3 keys.
And that's all from, you said it's just a 1% movement boost, right? So it's got
it's 41% for SR50 compared to the 28% for SR40.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
So yeah, Vector Addition's weird. Especially with how Doom math. Look, I don't want to do math while I'm on vacation. I don't even want to do math while I'm at work, so I guess we're at the crossroads there.
Whoa, was that a wall run? Is that
we did get a little bit of a wall run. So,
okay, yeah, you were zooming there.
Yeah, so the wall runs are a little weird because depending on like the directions you face, you can get weird calculations when you're running against the wall and basically double your speed for a little bit while you're running against the wall.
So wait, it's directionally based, like
it works.
so
I
it's
think
only certain walls. Kind of
think it's directional based. It's I think north to south and east to west, if I remember right.
That's funny.
There's a lot to remember.
You know what's funny? Like, I don't know if there's any connection at all, but Call of Duty 4 speedruns have a very similar thing where you can only strafe jump in, I think like west or something like that.
I wouldn't doubt it because don't they run in like one of the Quake engines?
I mean, yeah, it is. The engines are cousins or whatever. So.
All right, so we got a secret area right here. So this actually takes us right up to the top of where we need, and then a line def opens this up. So it's just nice line def skip, by the way. I went so fast across the line def that I actually managed to skip it. So Doom movement is not really like smooth movement. You can think of it more as warping from like frame to frame. So I had so much speed that I was on one side of the line def on one frame, and then on the very next frame, my speed was so high that I was on the other side of the line def. So I never actually triggered that teleporter.
Dark Ages has some stuff like that too.
Yeah, it's just Doom Engine is just a very unique thing. But this is a pretty boring level, so I'm going to quickly explain the next level coming up because it has one of the biggest tricks and the biggest run killer for any Episode 2 run. So we have a Void Glide. This is the only time we're going to see a Void Glide in this run coming up, to where when you manage to get enough speed, you usually need 32 units per frame or more to do that. You can actually get out of bounds. Ooh. And we're going to use that to be able to hit the exit switch from outside the level boundaries. This is a normally very long level, so being able to skip that is really important. So we're going to go to this corner here. We're going to line up, hopefully do some momentum preservation right here. This is a little tricky. It's not consistent.
Are you wiggling your like strafe key right now?
I'm like bashing down on my keyboard while I'm doing this. I actually have to have run off to do this. Make sure.
Okay.
Okay, runs off. It's not consistent, so there's. Okay, so I have
like angle specific, timing specific.
Angle. So I have the preservation, so we're going to set up the angle. So now we're out of bounds.
Wow. Okay.
So now we're going to go all the way over here to the end of the level. So this is actually a pixel, like sub-pixel perfect trick. I'm going to line up. I'm going to use vertical mouse movement right here. I'm going to listen for an audio cue. So if I hear the sound from hitting use, then I'm too far to the right. If I don't hear anything, I'm too far to the left. So this is a really tough trick. So I'm going to focus for just a second here. There we go. Nice. That was actually pretty quick to get that.
Okay, so sub-pixels and audio cues. And wow, okay. Fantastic job.
Yep. So we follow that up, by the way, with another trick coming up. We can't jump in the Doom engine because it's not a true 3D engine, but what if we just have a rocket push us as fast as possible over a ledge and get a bunch of speed? So, almost got that first try. This is a really tough rocket jump. This is like the hardest rocket jump. Second try's pretty good right there. I'll take that. Second try's good. That is a tough rocket jump.
You make your own jump. That's what you do.
So I don't have a whole lot of plasma to deal with the Cyber Demons, so we're going to pick up some rockets here. So we're just going to kind of dance around, say hi right now. Just look at the nice crotch rockets. I'm going to ruin everyone's lives for when you realize that. Once we run out of plasma, we're just going to switch over to rockets because we don't have enough plasma. There we go. And he goes down. And that's episode 2 right there. So halfway through the run, y'all.
Less than 13 minutes in, by the way.
That's pretty good. Like, those are actually, like, the 2 longer episodes. Episode 3 is, like, pretty short in comparison, unless these cacos are going to be mean to me. Oh, okay. One of them actually got out of the way. Usually both are in that hallway, and they just maul me to death. Now we have probably my least favorite level in the game. Just a hallway full of pinkies that you just can't get by. Like, I'm sorry, Sandy. And if that wasn't enough, we have 7 imps jammed into this room. 7 or 8. Hopefully slip by. Yes, slip right by. Nice. So, Meta, here's your interesting fact for the day for this level. If you look at it on the map, it's just a giant hand.
All right. This is Sandy's work.
Sandy's work. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thankfully, the level is not that complicated in this category. We can just go straight to the end. For this level, though, we're going to go back to where I said it's not a true 3D engine for Doom. That applies here. That applies to enemies technically having infinite height. So because of how the Doom engine works, we can't jump over enemies. So it's very possible that I'm going to get blocked. Oh, that's not good. We're going to need to restart that because I needed to get on that lift.
Hey, it happens, you know. It can't be perfect.
Yeah, I need the mega armor at the top, that's why. And also because I want to be able to explain this if it happens. So because enemies technically have infinite height, I can get blocked trying to get out of this little alcove. And okay, I was able to get around him, so that works out. So we're going to pick up the big friendly gun 9000 over here. We'll get to use that a little bit later. But the cells are really nice right here. We're going to hopefully slip by imps right here. That's good enough. All right, so in House Pain, we have another trick. So Doom engine does interesting things with how it checks for like collision and such. So because going back to like how we said the movement is more like warping from frame to frame, that kind of applies to item checks as well. And if we were to bump into an item at the right amount of speed, then the game would be like, hey, you're not supposed to have that yet, but it gives me the item first before pushing me out of the wall. So we're going to pick up a key through a wall right here, and this is known as key bump. Hopefully we're going to get this. That was first try right there. Nice.
Okay.
So we just pick up the yellow key through the wall, skip past that switch maze, and now we just pick up the red key and leave. By the way, I did that key bump backwards, which means I used my button to pick it up. And if, in case you can't see my shirt right now, I've got Doom Guy booty all over my shirt because it is canon that Doom Guy's got good booty. I don't make the rules, folks. Like, I didn't make the game. All right, so we've got the teleporter maze right here, so there's nothing really happening here. So, Meta, what's your thoughts on the run so far? Would you want to run this?
This is great. Would I want to run this? Yes. Would I be able to? No. I don't have the talent. Given the time, maybe. And if I had a coach like you.
I can definitely do that for you. So let's punch an inbound just for you. Take that.
Let's put it in the calendar.
That punch was so hard, I actually got bonked backwards. Good movement. All right, so coming into Mount Erebus here, we have our favorite texture right here, Fire Blue. I'm going to look at it as much as possible to destroy the stream bitrate. I am not sorry for everyone watching at home. But I actually do get to explain the BFG real quick. So the BFG works with 2 main components. There's a giant ball that does a chunk of the damage, and then we have the tracers, which do that. So while I'm looking at Fire Blue right here, the BFG fires that giant ball. The game locks in that angle, and then when the ball explodes and does its damage, the game checks that angle and fires 41 tracers in a cone like angle from at the angle that the ball was fired, but from Doom Guy's current position. So that means you can
big cone of death.
The cone of death. So that means you can do fun stuff like this, where I fire this into a wall and then just make all of them explode.
Oh, nice.
So that's actually a very common tactic for like deathmatch, where you just kind of fire around a corner, like fire the BFG into a wall and then quickly peek around the corner and do peekaboo.
You're curving the bullet. You're curving the BFG.
It's curving the bullet. Look, Neo from the Matrix, eat your heart out. I've got that 6 years before that. So thanks to the SR50 movement, we're just going to break this level open as well. Normally you would have to raise a whole bunch of ledges to get all the items here, but thanks to SR50, you can just kind of jump around and just kind of break the sequence here. So we're going to be able to get to this much earlier than possible. Just jump across there. So this opens the bridge that gets to the end. We're just going to deal with some lost holes here. This jump I will save for, because if I miss this jump and go too far, I actually soft lock. Okay, we didn't soft lock. Good. There's no way to get out of that pit. So into the boss level for episode 3. So here's the Spider Mastermind. There was the Spider Mastermind. That's what the BFG does. So that's episode 3 down. We are on the final episode, Thy Flesh Consumed. This level's really dangerous because there is like almost no health. There's one armor. There's like 8% health or something, and a whole bunch of shotgunners, a whole bunch of dangerous enemies. So I'm going to take this very slow to start, just to make sure I have health to survive. I do have another SR50 trick coming up once I get this rocket launcher here. We're going to pick up a red key through the wall coming up. They're actually through a fence. So we're good. By doing the SR50 against the fence right there, it's actually making a whole bunch of those item checks that I was talking about earlier. So we managed to just barely get the key right afterwards. Now, once I grab this blue key, I need to not fire for a bit because otherwise a bunch of specters wake up and just maul me. That is a lot of shotgunners. We're just going to clear them out.
They came to say hello.
They came to say hello, and they definitely did their job. We at least made it out. I have 8% health. I'll be okay, I hope. Okay,
33.
Okay. So we do have another grab trick. This time we're not grabbing a key. We're actually going to be grabbing a BF key through a wall. So we're going to go back here. We're going to grab this mega armor. We're going to line up. There we go. Just grab that BFD first try through the wall. And then from here, we're going to clear out these cactus because they're in the way. But we're going to be able to jump to this platform and skip the entire level right here. There's also a bunch of cacos in here. There's actually a cyber demon right behind me, so I don't want to stay in this room for too long. So I just want to pick up the cells and so I do have another rocket jump coming up right here. So this one's a little tricky because I'm actually going to be doing this rocket jump off of a lost soul this time. So I'm going to grab this invuln. And the pinkies are in a horrible spot. I don't know if I can make this work because they can block me even if I manage to get the jump. This is really bad luck. I might have to reload the save.
I believe.
We'll try it a few more times, but if we don't get it, we'll reload the save from the beginning. That's why I had a nice safety save at the very beginning of this level. And I should mention that typically I'm playing in a source port called DSDA Doom.
There we go.
So I'm playing in a source port called DSDA Doom. Source ports, if you don't know what they are, they basically are recompiled game engines that add quality of life features. So you basically grab the source port and then put the game files in it, and you run this in widescreen and other stuff. It's just really nice. And the nice thing about good source ports like this are that they are compatible with the demo system that Doom is famous for. Competitive speedrunning in original Doom, you would record demos using the in-game demo system, and then you would submit those. And those are really difficult to do because they would have to be done single segment. There would be no loading or saving. So doing that in a marathon setting is not the safest, so that's why we do have quick saving, quick loading for marathon purposes.
Yeah, I mean, in 1993 especially, I'm fairly confident that the existence of demos, like the demo files, and par times is a huge contributor to the reason that speedrunning is as big as it is today.
Yeah, it's definitely one of
the scene.
It's definitely one of the original games right there. Like, especially since it was hard to share files back in 1993, so you had demos do it because they're just a handful of kilobytes. You could just trade those over bulletin boards and such. So there's your fun history lesson. Thankfully, there's not too much we need to do in this level, but I do want to be sure I have enough supplies, so I'm going to make sure I grab that extra plasma gun. We're also intended to get an extra key in order to open the door to the exit, but why would you do that when there's this nice, big, inviting window where I can jump right to the exits? And now we are on E4M6, the hardest level in the run by far. This is the bane of full game runners and episode 4 runners right here. So I'm going to get all this plasma right here. This is very, very needed. So we're going to skip most of the level by jumping to this platform from here and then jumping straight to here. Oh, we'll try that again. If you miss that jump, then a whole bunch of cacos swarming, you're in a bad position.
So is that 2 SR50 jumps in a row?
Just SR40, thankfully.
Oh, okay.
But unfortunately, I'm not getting the speed I need. I'm getting kind of shot in the back while I'm doing this. And, okay,
there we go.
That skips most of the level right there. Now, the problem is once I grab this key and fire, the Cyber Demon awakens. And this is the worst Cyber Demon to deal with in the entire official classic Dooms, out of the original, 90s games. So I'm just going to pray that the Cyber Demon starts to fire on a Cacodemon somewhere. Friendly fire happens while he's distracted. And then, okay, it looks like he's already distracted. So hopefully he's going to just be able to we can just pop. Okay, well, he popped me in the face. That's very common. And that's how I expect this to go for at least another couple minutes. He's doing some infighting. Can I get up there in time? Okay, I'm in a bad situation with him. Can I kill him? Nope. like I said, there's really no room to fight the Cyber Demon on like good terms. You're normally supposed to get like an invulnerability to be able to fight this, but that's like way out of the way. So we just kind of take our chances right now.
And you have to take him down in order to progress, kind of thing.
You have to kill the Cyber Demon to finish the level because there's a bar that is tagged with the 666 sector tag, very appropriately. But that until the Cyber Demon dies, the bars won't open, and that's the only way to get out of this level in a non-tool assisted setting. Because there is a really fun way to do this in a tool assisted setting, where you can actually like get out of bounds with multiple players. But I'm just by myself.
Multiple players.
So yeah, co-op runs are actually pretty interesting to do with this. I was hoping he was distracted. So yeah, this is a very common E4 in a marathon setting, unfortunately.
This guy's tricky. Yeah.
Okay, I think this is actually good. Okay, I fell off the ledge, but I think this is good because he's distracted. Distracted. He's out.
Hey,
he's done.
there
Let's
we
get
go.
out of here.
He's gone.
Let's get out
You're
of here.
out of here.
Get me out of here. All right, so we do have one more SR50 trick right here on this level. If we manage to get to the center platform with an SR50, we can actually hit the exit switch that's still in the floor because the game doesn't care about infinite height. So I'm going to set up right here. That's actually off, I think. Okay. Line up right here. This is a pixel perfect setup. So there we go.
Nice.
We get there, and we just hit the exit switch in the floor. And that brings us to the last level in the WAD. So what would this run be without one more rocket jump coming up? So we'll get to that in a second. First, we have to get some supplies. We have to get the yellow key to at least be able to raise the stairs. Normally, you would need 2 keys, but doing it this way manages to skip needing the red key. Hopefully, we're going to grab this soul sphere. We're going to teleport back to the beginning. I do need to get past this Baron. Okay, good. One more rocket jump right here. Just barely failed it, it looked like. There we go.
Nice.
All right, so one more Spider Mastermind right here. I do not have enough plasma. Thank you. There's my plasma. All right, so time is coming up when I get into the center elevator right here. So we're just going to hopefully jump in from right here. Okay, I guess we're just going to have to wait for it to come down. I wanted to jump in from there, but time is in 3, 2, 1, time.
Hey, good run. Over 4 minutes underestimate, by the way.
25 is good enough. That's why I have a 30-minute estimate. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. And hey, it's Doom, but it's a fun time. So big shout outs to our good friend King Dime, who's done this run in the past. He unfortunately couldn't make it last year or this year, but big shout outs to him because he's done this run a couple times for both 2019 and 2024. And shout outs to a lot of the classic Doom community, like Zero Master holds like almost all the records in this game, and he has a much faster full game time than I do, and it will ever have. Meta, thank you for joining me, and thank you for getting your punishment right here from being on stage.
Thank you for having me.
So thank you all for attending QuakeCon, being here. Up next, we will have Bloodshot doing Doom Dark Ages Revelations.
Yes, that is a treat. Be sure to stick around. That'll be in just about 30 minutes.
Yeah, so you're going to go from oldest Doom run to newest Doom run.
Yep.
So definitely stick around for that. Thanks, y'all.